all I know is that I knew we needed something like that, because there were no journals, there was nothing anybody could read. There was no way that you could tell people that you wanted to run a conference. There was no communication at all. So we thought that if we tried to form an association, we could overcome that, and that it would encourage other people around the country to hold conferences and meetings, that more would come to anything we organised. And we decided we would organise events not only in London but in different parts of the country where people were interested in what we were doing. And the Basser newsletter became relatively popular relatively quickly, And it went not only to black organisations and black activists, but after some time a number of local libraries subscribed to it, So I think what we were doing and our interests, and then because researchers began to give us articles to publish, we could also publish all these articles written for people, not written for academics like this bloody thing, which I'm trying to read, and I think, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. What the hell do you mean by that? I don't know how the prison did this, but a lot of the men were going to do various jobs within New York and came back in the afternoon, in the evening, after the day's work was over. And I was there to ensure that their literacy rates were very good, so that the prisons wanted to do the best they could to make sure they got jobs when they were released, which is much more than we do here. Many people attended my classes. I mean, it was voluntary, they didn't have to. But the numbers grew and grew, and apparently then some of the female black prison staff complained to the governor. And I was then interviewed, and he told me that there was nothing he could do. He said he knows that I'm there to teach, and I'm not there in order to set up relationships with the prisoners. But he said, when he tried to talk the prison guards through this, they didn't want to listen. So he said, I'm sorry, but I have to ask you to go. Isn't that appalling?